All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today we're exploring the profoundly honored place of Prophet Isa, who you probably know in English as Jesus, within the Islamic faith. He's this incredibly universal figure, right? But the way his life, his mission, and his actual nature are described in the Quran, it presents a very specific and honestly fascinating narrative.
So, who was Jesus in Islam? Is he considered the Son of God? We're going to start by addressing one of the most common questions people ask regarding his identity. It's a question that really sits at the very heart of the theological differences between major world religions.
Was he actually crucified? We're also going to tackle the historical and theological questions surrounding his earthly end, directly from the source material. Like, how exactly does Islam view those events that are so central to other faiths?
And finally, what does the Quran actually say about him? Our goal today is to separate fact from misconception by looking strictly at authentic Islamic teachings. We're not here to debate. We're just here to clearly explain what the text explicitly states about his life, his miracles, and his ultimate destiny.
So here's our roadmap for today. We'll look at who Prophet Isa is, his miraculous birth, his miracles and the message, the crucifixion question, and finally, the promised return.
Part 1. Who is Prophet Isa?
First and foremost, he is recognized as one of Allah's absolute greatest prophets. There is this deep, profound respect for him among Muslims worldwide. His story isn't just some footnote, it's completely foundational to understanding divine revelation in Islam.
Moving on to Part 2. A miraculous birth.
The story actually starts with his mother. According to the Quran, Allah chose Maryam, known as Mary, elevating her as literally one of the most righteous women in history. The angel Jibril, or Gabriel, brought Allah's message to her, and the message was pretty astonishing. Maryam would give birth to a son without a father, purely by Allah's command.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates the Quranic view that his birth is this massive sign of Allah's power. And to address the logical leap of a virgin birth, the Quran draws a really fascinating parallel to the creation of Adam. Think about it. Just as Adam was created by divine command without any parents at all, Isa was created without a father. In the Islamic view, both are simply manifestations of Allah's ultimate creative power.
Naturally, when Maryam returned to her people with a newborn child, they questioned her honor. But the Quran details that one of his very first miracles happened right then and there to defend her. As a literal infant, still in the cradle, he miraculously spoke, declaring himself a servant of Allah and a prophet sent to guide humanity. That instantly silenced the doubters and showed absolute divine intervention.
Part 3. Miracles and the message.
So Allah granted him incredible miracles during his time on earth. We're talking about healing the blind, curing lepers, and bringing the dead back to life. In one deeply poetic miracle, he even fashioned a bird out of clay, breathed into it, and it actually came to life. But there is a very specific, absolutely crucial phrase repeated in the Quran regarding all these events. They were performed strictly by Allah's permission and by Allah's command. In Islam, these astonishing feats are clear signs validating his prophethood, for sure, but they are not proof of divinity. The power always originates from Allah.
Alongside those miracles was his core message. Prophet Isa called people to worship Allah alone. You see, he didn't come to erase the past, but to confirm the teachings given before him. He received the Injil, which translates to the Gospel, as a book of divine guidance. His mission heavily emphasized returning to sincere faith, righteousness, mercy, and unwavering obedience to Allah.
So we have a beloved prophet performing incredible, divinely permitted miracles and preaching this message of sincere faith and mercy. But despite all that, his earthly mission led to a highly debated historical climax.
Which brings us to Part 4, the crucifixion question.
Let's look at what the text actually says here. The Quran states quite clearly and definitively that the event did not unfold the way standard historical or Christian assumptions suggest. According to authentic Islamic teachings, Prophet Isa was neither crucified nor killed by his enemies.
So, what actually happened? Well, the Quran explains that it only appeared that way to the people watching. Instead of being killed on the cross, Islamic teachings say that he was divinely protected. Allah saved him from his persecutors and raised him up to himself. It's a narrative of divine rescue and protection rather than sacrifice.
And that leads us into Part 5, the promised return.
This maps out the fascinating Islamic belief about what happens next. You see,
Islam teaches his return is actually one of the major signs of the Day of Judgment. First comes his return to earth. Shortly after, he'll confront and defeat the false Messiah, the Dajjal. Then, there's a period of global justice, directly preceding the end of time.
Ultimately, Muslims believe his final mission won't be to start a new religion, but to restore true faith and justice. He is destined to return and once again call people back to the pure monotheistic worship of Allah before the end of time.
Prophet Isa is a universally recognized figure, yet the Quranic narrative gives us a very distinct, majestic perspective on who he was and who he will be. How does understanding these distinct, source-based teachings about such a universal figure change our perspective on shared religious history? It really makes you think, doesn't it? If you enjoyed this explainer, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more authentic Islamic history. Keep questioning and keep learning.